California Governor Gavin Newsom emphatically defeated a recall aimed at kicking him out of office early, a contest the Democrat framed as part of a national battle for his party's values in the face of the coronavirus pandemic and continued threats from what Newsom called Trumpism. Joining me on the morning show, Rick Mullaney, News4Jack's political analyst and head of the Jacksonville University Public Policy Institute. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning, Bruce.
So Newsom was facing a tough race until Larry Elder entered the fray. In a state that is deep blue, did Newsom gain a direct target?
The short answer is yes, particularly in California. Remember, in California, when you say that it's a blue state, it is very blue. A Republican hasn't won a statewide race there in 15 years, since 2006. Democrats outnumber Republicans by 2-1. In fact, only 24% are registered Republicans. And Joe Biden easily won California 64-34 over Donald Trump. So instead of talking about wildfires and rising house prices in California and concerns over homelessness, Gavin Newsom was able to shift it into something more partisan, Republican versus Democrat. A vote for Larry Elder or for the recall would be a vote for Donald Trump. So it became this binary choice. Very effective strategy for Gavin Newsom. There were 46 people on the ballot, but Larry Elder was the leading one. He helped define the opposition, a direct target in California for Gavin Newsom.
You know, Republicans, I think, had hoped for proof that frustrations over months of pandemic precautions would drive voters away from the Democrats. But a recall election is an imperfect barometer, particularly of national trends.
Very much so, Bruce. Make no mistake, recalls are unique. In the history of our country, there's only been 4 recall elections of governors. Only twice in our history has a governor been removed due to recall, once in the 1920s in South Dakota and once in California. In 2003, when Gray Davis was removed, Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor. And those were issues were uniquely related to California back then, as opposed to national issues. Here, it's very, very hard to take the unique demographics and voting patterns of California and try to use that as a barometer for the rest of the country. So I'd be very cautious about projecting too much from what happened in this recall election.
So Joe Biden traveled to California to get out the vote, and some saw this recall in a way as a test of the president's clout. That said, what impact might this have on the midterm elections?
You know, Bruce, I think one of the greatest impacts that this election may have will be the strategy of some Democratic candidates in blue states on how they approach the election. Gavin Newsom was very effective in leaning into mandates on COVID-19, mandates for wearing masks and mandates for vaccines. And while that may not play well in Texas or Arkansas or South Dakota, I think those in blue states may see that COVID-19 and the mandates may be a part of a winning strategy in talking about health there in COVID. And the second piece is, again, going to the playbook, trying to bring in Donald Trump and sort of an anti-Trump notion, if you can define your opponent as anti-Trump. But remember, in the midterms, you're going to have Congress. Those races will be very, very different for House and Senate. On the Republican side, they're going to be talking about Afghanistan, which was not on the ballot in California, inflation, immigration, and crime. The counter from the Democrats, particularly from this recall, will be health care and COVID-19.
All right, so picking up on what you just said, is perhaps the biggest takeaway from this election, COVID is not finished messing with politics, because it was one of the biggest issues this go-round.
Bruce, there's no doubt. COVID-19 has been very potent politically. It was the number one issue, really, that hurt Donald Trump in his reelection bid was COVID-19. And the Delta variant is very much hurting Joe Biden. Currently in the state of Florida, you can see Governor DeSantis, his poll numbers dropping a bit in his approach to COVID-19. Remember the midterm elections? There's 36 governor's races 14 months from now. There's all the congressional races. But for Governor DeSantis, it's 14 months away. So come next summer, where we are in COVID-19 could play a very, very important role in what happens next November. If it's in the rearview mirror, it's one thing, but if it's front and center, it's another. COVID-19 has been very potent politically.
And it'll be curious to say, because some of the medical experts say we won't even turn the corner until spring. Time's going to tell. Rick Mullaney, always a pleasure. Appreciate you.